started a fire. Baby whiskey, baby whiskey, Lord. Baby whiskey made me lose my heavy home. Made me lose my heavy home. Whiskey and women driving me out of my mind. Every time I get full of that whiskey, I think I'm doing fine. Baby whiskey, baby whiskey, Lord. Baby whiskey made me lose my happy home. Made me lose my happy home. Whiskey and women driving me out of my mind. Every time I get full of that whiskey, I think I'm doing fine. Baby whiskey, baby whiskey, Lord. Baby whiskey made me lose my heavy home. Made me lose my heavy home. Made me lose my heavy home.
Well, welcome to Big Blend Radio with Lisa Smith. I'm the daughter half of the Big Blend mother-daughter travel team and publishing team, and you just heard Bad Whiskey, the title track from the upcoming debut album by Simon-Kinney-Lewis from Sydney, Australia. And he's coming back to the States. We're very excited about that. But go check out his website. It's sklblues.com, and we're super happy to have him call in from Sydney today. Right, Simon? Welcome.
Hi, Lisa. Thanks for having me on the show.
Hey, it's great to have you here. And so how's Sydney this time of year? Here, we're based in Tucson, Arizona, and we're getting ready to start sizzling a little bit. What's Sydney like?
Yeah, it's getting a little chilly at night,
wow.
especially. But it's in another month it's going to be cold, but not cold by Europe standards.
Right.
But yeah, it's pretty nice actually. It's kind of refreshing temperature at the moment. So yeah.
Oh, nice. And
not
and
like
you're gonna,
California. I'm sure
yeah.
it's quite warm over there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's warming up a little bit. Yeah. So now California, I think they're gonna love Bad Whiskey. Now, is this a song that you've been playing when you were over here last year?
Yes, it was. Yeah, we're just it's basically being mixed at the moment, and we were sort of just previewing a few new tracks from that album last time in December when we were out, and yeah, they're going off really, really well. It's a good sort of way of testing the waters, and just seeing the audience reaction to the new songs and stuff. But yeah, it's been going well.
Good. And bad whiskey, listen, there's no such thing as bad whiskey. I'm just going to say that right now. No, I'm kidding, but I love it because you've got
not according to Amos Milburn, there's not, but
it's got such a nice, like, rocking, it's like rock and blues at the same time. And, then also I know we're going to play at the end here, street blues. And that's got like this, old school Gary Moore feel, even with your voice. I know, people have compared you with Joe Bonamassa and I get that for sure. But as soon as I was listening to your music, I'm like, man, you take me back to my days of just playing Gary Moore over and over again, and I want to do that again now.
Oh,
so
that's nice to hear.
yeah.
Well, it's nice to hear something different. I love Gary Moore, and I was listening to a lot of Gary Moore when I did that album. That's a couple of years old now, the Street Blues. But the Amos Milburn track is an old classic, and it's funny. I was having another interview here with a presenter, Ross Fear, and he was telling me about bad whiskey. That if you made it wrong, it could be really, really bad for you. So I sort of, you learn every time you check out one of these old songs, and it's great for your own writing, of course. And yeah.
It's funny. We just did an interview with a gentleman, Mark Forsyth, over in London, and he wrote the book, A Short History of Drunkenness. And it goes into how bad whiskey is, It's really interesting, especially here, like in the Southwest. There's a town, and I was saying this on the interview. So listeners, I'm sorry for duplicating myself. I do it all the time. It gets more work done. No, but he was saying that how they would, these old Wild West saloons would serve really bad stuff, and he gave like the recipe for it, and it's like, I don't want to drink that. I'm going to Kentucky this year. I'm excited.
Bad moonshine.
We want real bourbon. That's what I have to say. But so when you came over to the States, did you toured mostly California?
I did. I was fortunate enough to be. Chris Kane took me under his wing to do a few clubs. I did Biscuits and Blues, and I supported Chris when he was in Sydney, and Chris Kane would probably be one of my favorite blues guys around, and it was just a real honor. And I sort of didn't really know it hit me before I was suddenly in San Francisco and in the traffic. I couldn't believe the traffic coming from San Jose, and we were kind of late a couple of times for 2 gigs actually. We just didn't judge that well enough, but it was just wonderful. We played just a bunch of little more small places, but they were, great audience, good atmosphere, and we're just especially the ones with Chris were just wonderful. Yeah.
Nice, man. And San Francisco is like, it's one of my favorite cities. It really is. And I haven't been to Sydney yet. I don't know if you've been to South Africa, because I used to live there, and I had a lot of Australian friends. And actually, Sydney.
I haven't been there.
Oh, wow. Because Cape Town, South Africa, when I look at Cape Town, it reminds me of San Francisco, and then it reminds me of Sydney from the photos I've seen. Like, just kind of looks very similar in some ways. That, I don't know, maybe it's just because it's a waterfront community, oceanfront, I should say, and like the harbor and everything. And I actually hung out with some people from Sydney. They were doing the Rocky Horror Picture Show theater production in Port Elizabeth, South Africa, where we were, and we had a magazine out there. And it was when they finally decided that the Rocky Horror Picture Show was unbanned in the country, because it was banned for many years. And then all of a sudden, the town came out in drag. It was great. So that's what we staying up with them a lot.
Well, it's funny you say that, because a keyboard player I used on 3 of my albums actually is the MD for the Rocky Horror, Michael Azzopardi, who is musical director for the Rocky Horror Show. It's funny that
wow,
that you mentioned that.
Oh my God, this is over 20 years ago, and all I know is those guys know how to party, and girls. That was fun. That's some of the most fun I've ever had in my life, because we did a cover story of them in our magazine, and then we had to leave South Africa. But it was like, that was it. Like, there you go. Here's our last magazine over there. And we have the Rocky Horror Picture Show on the front cover. And we spent a lot of time with them. And Man, we had such a good time, and they taught me so
Well,
much. But
Cape Town, I'll have to check it out. That's for sure.
that is crazy cool.
There's too many wonderful places to check out. You know, I'd love to go to India, and I went to Brazil a couple of years ago with my drummer, and that was a lot of fun. But
Wow.
yeah, I'm into sort of checking out new places. It's really refreshing, especially as a musician. You sort of get it's a universal language, you know, when you if you can play the right venues, and yeah, no, it's good.
You know, I think this is so interesting. You talk about you went down to South America, and I was just interviewing Jeff Berlin, a legendary bass player, yesterday.
Oh yeah.
And we were talking about Argentina, and his wife is Argentinian, and she's a jazz instructor, and so we were talking about all that he does in Argentina, and I'm like, what is going on in South America as like a continent? It seems like it's just kicking major butt in regards to blues and jazz and funk and R&B.
Yeah.
It seems like it's really alive. Olan Christopher Bell, who is Zakiya Hooker's husband, she's incredible. I mean, he's Zakiya Hooker's husband, but he did, and she's the daughter of John Lee Hooker, and he did the last album of John Lee Hooker, and they have their production studio down there too in Argentina. Like, what's going on? You need to go there.
Right. Well, yeah, I think Krista is there as well. Well, I have been in touch with one of the promoters down there. It's definitely something we want to do for sure. It does look vibing. It's funny you're saying that as well. Every time, yeah, the Argentina gets brought up, you know, that it's a nourishing environment musically, and yeah, that sounds good.
That's so. Do you? I mean, let's start with like where you got started in music. And when I say debut album, this is Bad Whiskey is really a debut album with your full band, because you had like 5 other albums before that, right? Okay, so we got to give shout out to that, and we got to talk about who's in your band. I always want to make sure the band is covered. But getting started for you in the blues and you know, and rock, because you've got like a really good rock edge even in the ballad side of things. What got you started? And how old were you when you got started? Or young?
Well, yeah, I was pretty young. My dad played a lot of blues around the house, and yeah, I was just my older brother played some guitar, and it was just one of those things that I just latched onto straight away. And I wasn't. I did go to music school for about a few months there, but my mum couldn't really afford it, and it was. Yeah, and I learned probably more outside that school than in it, to be honest. But at that point, I was sort of over school, and basically, you probably hear this story from many musicians, but I just got the bug, and it was just once in I guess '98 I left school, so you know I didn't really take it up seriously to about 2000, and then I really sort of sunk my teeth into it, and I went like, I'm going to do this, you know. Yeah.
Nice. Well, we're glad you did. I mean, listen to the music. It's badass cool, and I'm excited that you're going to Julian. You know, Julian we used to live there.
Looking forward to it.
It's up in the mountains. Have you been there before?
I've been. Rob Bauer's telling me all about it, and I've seen some photos, and I've heard from a couple other friends in California that it's great. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. It's going to be great.
So everyone, I want to tell everyone we're talking about the 20th annual Julian Blues Bash. It's held once again at Mangini Winery. This is one of the best settings for a festival. It's intimate. It's not crazy. You can just let your hair down. You can take your whatever off. No, anyway, you can just let go and have a good time. It's on Saturday, June 16th, 2018. I'm telling you, I remember when the Julian Blues Bash started. In fact, actually performed at it. You know, right before Rob took it over, and I'm glad he took it over. He's done just this incredible job of keeping blues alive in Southern California, even in Yuma, Arizona. He's got a festival there. So you can go to rob-bauerpresents.com, and that's Rob with 2 B's. We call him Mr. Blues Moose, and we always talk about how he likes to present himself. Anyway,
he's a lovely guy.
He is one of
Very
he is
charismatic.
one of the best. We love Rob, and he's been doing this for 20 years, and this is his final blues bash for Julian. He's recording an album with his band, the McCoy Brothers, who will also be performing at the festival. And I'm just really excited for him, and I'm excited that you get to go there. It's like awesome to have someone fly in from Australia, and go into Julian, because it's such a charming little small historic town, and you've got a Vulcan Mountain behind you. You've got the vineyards, and just a nice outdoor stage. I mean, to me, I think always I love outdoor events like that. As a musician, I always preferred it.
Yeah.
Outdoors. I know it's sometimes hard in equipment, but there's a freedom that comes with it, and I think blues should be outside.
Yeah, there's a nice little festival called Thredbo Blues Festival, which is kind of, it's right near on the base of Mount Kosciuszko, our largest mountain, and it is gorgeous. It's probably my favorite blues festival. So, I agree, Lisa. It's really nice to be outdoors, that environment. Nice live music and in a good scene, good people.
Well, it's interesting to me about Australia, because it looks like Australia loves the blues and rock. I was looking at all the festivals you've played there.
We've got some good festivals, yeah. Byron's has been. Oh, sorry, that Broadbeach has just been Queensland. That's a big one. Robert Cray was out there, and that's our one saving grace in Australia, that we do have, and especially down in Melbourne. They've got a lot. In fact, someone's telling me they've got more music per head in the world for live music in Melbourne, which I couldn't believe. But actually, sort of playing down there the last 7 times in the last 10 months, and I'm from Sydney, so it's geographically, it's a little way. It's about an hour on the plane. But it's like, it's one of those things that's it's got a great vibe to it, and
man, you're going to go to I was going to say a road trip to Australia, but it's going to take a little bit of flight in there too. It's exciting to see this. I know you're just watching musicians always flying over there, and I'm like, well, this is cool. And so when you come over here for the Julian Blues Bash, again, everybody, June 16th, 2018, are you going to go do some other performances around?
Rob's organising a clinic for me after the festival, which will be June 17. The details of that are still to be confirmed. And there's a little club that I think we might be playing at as well, called Tio Leo's.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
And
nice.
I think I'm getting that name right. And then we're off to Vegas a couple of days after that for a gig, and then I've got one more clinic in California, and then I go home. That's sort of. And then we've got a bunch of stuff in California before we in San Jose and San Francisco before we go. Yeah, so it's going to be quite a cool trip actually. It wasn't as busy as that like about 3 months ago. It's only we got a whole bunch more work and stuff. But yeah, Rob's been fantastic, and this festival was basically the one thing that we revolved all our gigs around. When Rob said that, and last time we were there in December, we were speaking to another radio presenter, David Hoover, and Joe Coote, who were lovely guys, and they actually put me onto Rob and said, look, go and check it out. This guy puts on this great festival, and so I'm very new to the States. This is my second trip, and I'm very grateful for everyone that's helped out. And it's just I've really got a bug. I mean, obviously I'm coming back. It's only been 6 months, but I would like to try and do this a couple of times a year, at least a year or once a year, coming over there.
I know, and it's not always easy for musicians to come into our country. It's easier for our musicians to come out. It just kind of works that way with visas and all that. So I really appreciate you coming over. And it's just, you've got such talent. I'm just excited to learn about you and your music. I always get excited. It's like, this is like a fresh sound. I compare you to Gary Moore and some others in there. I feel like there's a little Thorogood in there too. Like, it's just, you've got your own sound. And I think that's always exciting to hear someone walk in and just like, okay, this is super cool. And you seem to have a very wide range of styles that you'll go into, which I think is really exciting for people, because I think sometimes people, getting used to the blues, that blues goes all over the place. It touches
It does,
country,
yeah.
it touches rap, it touches
Yeah, I mean,
all of it.
lately, last few albums have been more rock blues. You know, I think my first two albums are a little can take people off on different tracks. They were sort of more like just checking out a lot of guitar. You know, like Strat Attack and Country Fried Chicken and actually there was a song Country Fried Chicken that went to #1 on one of the independent radio stations over there, and I was sort of plugging that a lot. And I just got into blues, but it's lovely that you say that, Lisa. I mean, I am a blues fan at heart, and it's been wonderful. This particular album, Bad Whiskey, you know, it's you know, there's some nice shades of rock in there, like you were mentioning, but it's always a lot of fun, yeah.
You take us on different roads, and I think that's it, right? And so Bad Whiskey is out with your band, and I want to touch onto that because we got to give it a shout out to who you're performing with. So you've got Tony Boyd on drums, Shannon Stitt on Hammond, and Rob Ewan on bass, right? Did I say Ewan right? I always get everyone's names wrong.
Yes,
so.
you did say that correct. That is my Sydney band. I will be using my Australian drummer for the Julian Festival, and I'll be using an American bass player, Greg Jones, and I'll be using Walter Jett there on second guitar. So that's slightly different for our show schedule in the States. But my Australian band, yes, it's Shannon Stitt. He's probably one of Australia's best. You know, I don't really say that about many keyboard players that I've worked with, but we've done about 20 shows with him at the moment, and it's just been wonderful. And he plays great on the album, and Rob I've played with. He's an old friend of 20 years or something. And it's I think it's exciting because it's the first time we've released something as a band. And there was some group effort there. My bass player wrote a couple of songs on the album. He was very tentative at the start. It was like, man, you can drop them if you don't think they're good, and that gave him a buzz to write something, and it gave me a little break as well because there was only so much, depending on what frame of mind and creatively you're in. I just previously released 6 months ago an album called Catfish, and so I was kind of ready for a bit of a break, but the guy was kind of pushing me to finish this one. And so they're a great bunch of dudes. It's going to be a good one.
So is Street Blues going to be on there? I know that's from that's another album, right? Back in 2000.
We're playing songs from that album. Yeah, no, I still play songs from the Street Blues album. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, we'll be playing that one, Street Blues, and Ice for Trouble. There'll be a few we do an arrangement of Purple Rain that I kind of got from Lucky Peterson actually. And I love Lucky Peterson.
Oh, yeah.
I love that guy. And I met him actually. He was kind of really tired. I met him at the face. My manager took me backstage.
I met his dad, James Peterson, when we lived in Florida.
Did you? Wow.
No,
wow,
and you know what?
How old is he?
God, this was about.
He must be getting on.
This was about 20-something years ago, and
right.
I was at this, we were at this bar, and this was, I was starting to get into music in this country at this time, and just left South Africa, and had a couple cocktails and talked to him, and I was like, man, this music is so badass. Like, everybody wants to, like, I'm staying here. And then he was like, no, come on and sing with me. And I was like, do you know, I babied out on that. I have to watch my words here. But I was one of those, you're not supposed to regret things in life. That was the one thing that I could have sung with him. And I didn't because I chickened out.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, like, it's James Peterson. And then I got into his son's music, and I'm like, lucky, man. I mean, they're all just, and they kind of have, like, Taj Mahal has that, like, kind of vibe, like he's telling you, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It's all about the car.
That's right.
It's all about that, man. Oh, that is so cool.
I saw Taj Mahal as well. I mean, those guys are great. I remember there's an album that he played from with Kenneth Chambers on drums, and that version of Purple Rain the album version is simply wonderful. It's a lot slower than it's a little slower than the way we've done it, but the whole blues, and the funny thing is I hadn't actually heard Prince's version of Purple Rain, and all my friends were like, have you heard Prince's stuff, and this is a true story. Some guys sort of roll their eyes a little bit when I say this, but when I was recording Prince's, the guitar solo on Prince's Purple Rain, that was the night he died. And my engineer called me up and said, "Did you just hear that Prince passed away?" And I was like, "What? This is," because I was sort of hoping to, because they're very careful with copyright with his songs. They've got the ropes on really tight with all of his copyright, as it should be. But I was hoping to send him a track and pray that he'd not even have a listen. But it was pretty devastating news. But
oh yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
I'm glad you covered him, because you've got that same styling that I want to hear it badly, because you've got that knack for that. I can hear it in your playing, and I'm like,
yeah.
Okay,
well, I loved his version. I love the two versions of it. I really couldn't do well. Wow, this is a really nice. But I've heard other guys do a really nice take on Prince's version of it. It's really cool. Mine's really down home. It's 3 chords pretty much. Just change the relative minor on the chorus. Really, but I think that's also a nice way of approaching songs. I feel a lot of guys do that, and it really works. If it's sung convincingly and it's from the heart, and it's all it's all meaningful, it's going to happen.
Yeah, you just gotta you dissect it. You take it down to the roots, and Prince is incredible. A lot of people, like friends in the blues and music lovers, that they always go like deep. Okay, no, we got to just stick with Muddy Waters. I'm like, no, come here, listen to Prince. And it was only after he died that I was able to get some people to turn heads and take a listen to him. And
it's always a way, isn't it?
Yeah, and it was like, oh, come on. Have you seen his performance of "While My Guitar Gently Weeps"? Have you seen that?
I've seen that. Yeah, it's awesome.
Crazy. Everybody just turns around like, what?
Yeah, you can play guitars. Oh man, it's just wonderful musicians, It's awesome.
Who would you, if you could play with anyone in the world, alive or passed on, what song would you play off of Bad Whiskey, your album? And that's coming out mid-June, right? It's coming up soon, man. That's going to happen.
It's coming up soon. If I had to choose a song from an artist.
Your song. What would be your song?
One of my songs.
Yeah, and what artist would you go and jam with? If they're live, pass on, doesn't matter.
So if I had to tell them, look, can you jam on one of my songs? And
you're gonna play with them, and it doesn't matter.
You asked that question. Well, I think I would really like to play. Look, there's so many, but if I had to choose one right now, I'd really like to play "Living in a Fool's Paradise." We do a version of that song, but I'd really like to play it with Robin Ford.
There you go, man.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
And you only had to get one, you see, because otherwise you'd get some bad whiskey. No, I'm kidding. And really good to have you join us on the show here on Big Blend Radio. Very excited about you coming back out to America and to California.
Yeah.
And Vegas. And so is the best way for everyone to keep up with your gigs out here? Is it sklblues.com? That's the best place. And
they're all
keep up with the album?
They're all on the website. Yeah, they're all on the website, just sklblues.com.
Awesome,
yeah.
Awesome. Everybody, again, don't forget the Julian Blues Bash. This is epic, and you've got one time to see it now, and it's it. And the lineup is incredible. The musicians, I mean, you've heard already here, Simon's music, and just understand, like, that's the caliber of music that's at this festival. It's huge. It's awesome. It's not huge in that, like, you're in this giant festival where you can't breathe. It's huge in that you're going to walk away from there. You're going to boogie away from there, like this on cloud nine. It is such a good place and such good performers. So check it out. Go to rob-bauerpresents.com. It's ROBB because he has to have 2 B's. And Mangini Winery is the venue. Great place, great wine. And again, it's Saturday, June 16th, 2018. And we want to give a shout out to Jeremy's on the Hill California Style Bistro, which is up in Julian, or it's a couple miles from Julian. And it's a totally farm to table food, local brew, local wine. You got to go there, Simon. I'm telling you, like, you want really good food. This is the place.
Oh, we can't wait.
He's awesome. And it's a live music
I'll
venue.
make a note of that.
Go to Jeremy's. All the food is locally sourced. They have a garden. Their farm is right across the street from them. And so the lettuce, the vegetables.
I'm writing it down now.
I know. Jeremy's on the Hill.
I love my food. That's one of the things that I'm traveling. It's like, It's like,
Really, it's about the food. Okay, so when you come to California,
it's about the food.
is there anything in California or America that you like? That you're like, when I get back
There
there,
is. There's something I found. The guys joke about it with me, but it's I found it at the local cafe in Los Altos where Walter we're staying. Walter's just like a guitar player staying with me, and it's called the Texas Twister, and it's basically like an infused Mexican sort of breakfast, infused Mexican American breakfast with jalapenos and jack potatoes and cheddar cheese and it's
the scramble.
It's like it's a concoction of just goodness.
It's really
but I mean,
good.
I love all the food. You know, it's great breakfasts and stuff. And the burgers, your burgers are the best. Nations and the In-N-Out.
The In-N-Out,
I mean,
like San Diego has them. That's for sure.
I'm sure you're probably rolling your eyes. Really?
No. You know what?
Yeah.
They're not all over everywhere, but like I have friends that just went from Louisiana to San Francisco, and they're like, we're going to In-N-Out now. That's the first thing they did before anything
really?
else.
Oh,
we
wow.
gotta
Because I've only been to California, so I don't know all the other places, that you can get all the other stuff as well. But actually, I'm looking forward to trying some. I love chili, so I love spice and stuff. So I'm looking forward to trying out maybe some more Mexican style stuff down in San Diego, which I'm sure would be good as it's so close. But you guys are just spoiled there. You just got so many different options. Different states and stuff.
It's a melting pot here, and that's the good thing for food. And we're on the border here in Tucson. We used to live in San Diego, and it's two different styles. Here we have Sonoran and Mexican food, and then over there is Baja. And oh my gosh, when you really get like that really good dish of Mexican
Sonoran.
food, it's a little different. We have we're known for chimichangas here. We're known for the Sonoran hot dog. So it's like a taco hot dog burrito, all put in one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a hot dog with chili on it.
You got to stop. I'm getting hungry.
And then like the barbacoa meat where they dry it up on the roof. I went on the roof of one of our restaurants here. It was fun. They dry it, and it's all, where flies can't get it and stuff. And there's no
dead cats and stuff flying around. Yeah.
Well, there's bats. No
cats in the hot tin roof.
No, none of that. No. But San Diego, you're in Taco Paradise, and Jeremy's on the Hill. I got to give his website, everyone. Jeremy'sOnTheHill.com is the website, and he definitely has some good food for you on the menu. You're going to enjoy it, and he's really about it, the flavors being California and San Diego. So you're in for a treat for that. And I want to thank our listeners for joining us. As always, Big Blend Radio airs Monday through Thursdays at 4 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, Fridays and Sundays at 11 a.m. Pacific Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Everything's up on bigblendradio.com, the upcoming schedule, and you can listen on demand. And we're going to play Street Blues. Excited for you to all hear it. So thank you so much for joining us, Simon. It's been a true pleasure.
Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate it. Cheers. Looking forward to coming out.
Thank you. Here it is, everybody. Street Blues.
What you want, you will get. Money comes, you bet. Walking the streets like it's no big deal. show your feet. You just gotta scratch all that you feel. Oh, maybe the heat of your lights are real.